Hello everyone, in this video I will show you my design of an Iron Golem Farm. It is slightly more efficient than docm's Iron Golem Farm, but mainly it's just easier to build and also easier to disguise. Before I show you how to build the Iron Golem Farm, I will explain exactly how Iron Golems spawn. But if you're not interested in that, just click on the annotation to go directly to the building of the Iron Golem Farm. Okay, so Iron Golems can spawn on a solid block, on a redstone block, a stone slab, on a hopper, basically anything that you can put a redstone on top of. Okay, when it tries to spawn a golem, say it tries to spawn it on this block, it will try to spawn it on the northwestern corner, so it will try to spawn it right here. And it will look for a 2x2x4 area that is possible to spawn an Iron Golem in. And it can spawn an Iron Golem in redstone, a redstone block, inside a stone slab, inside a door, inside a slab that is on the top of a block, inside a hopper, and inside of water. Basically anything that you can, here you can see it, anything that you can open a chest if that block is on top of it. So as you can see, the Iron Golems are spawning on here, and I'm in a version of Minecraft where golems are spawning way more frequently, which is why you are actually seeing the Iron Golem spawn so rapidly. Okay, so let's talk about where they spawn. So they can spawn, so if we have another door here to make the village 21 doors, they can spawn on top of this block. This is the highest a golem can spawn, and it can spawn on top of this block. This is the lowest a golem can spawn. So using this you can make floors on these two heights in order to have double the spawning spot. You can also choose to use stone slabs, as they can also spawn on top of stone slabs, and they can spawn inside of them. Because even though they are only 3 high, they need this to be air in order to, or air, any slab or anything they can spawn inside of in order to spawn here. So if you make this a full block, it will never spawn here again. So it can now only spawn on here. Okay, so let's go to the an iron farm and see in what area they spawn. I am now at doc's iron farm, and I've blocked out a 16x16 area, since golems spawn in a 16x16x6 area around the center of a village. Except when you're looking at the south of the village, and then you take this row here, a golem will never spawn on here. Which is because the center of the village is actually a little bit to the north. So what you could do to fix that is just simply knock out 4 doors, like this, and you will see immediately golems start spawning. Obviously this is still the world where golems spawn way more frequently. Let's talk about villages. Villages consist of houses, and a house is simply a wooden door that has more blocks on one side that block the sunlight than on the other. A wooden door is a house so there must be the blocks, and if there is a villager between this block, you can see on the left there's one house, and this block, so it can be 3 blocks below it or 1, 2, 3.5 blocks above it. The problem is that when we have a villager on top, like here, the game does not consider there to be any villagers inside the village. This one does see the house, which makes it a village, but there are no villagers in it. If you place a villager here, you can see on the left there's 1 villager in the village. I first tried to make an Iron Golem farm where there would be villagers in the middle, on top of the central village, but this is not possible because there need to be villagers quite a bit lower, and then we cannot have 2 spawning spots. So if we put it here, you can see there's 1 house and also 1 villager, so this one is considered to be in the village. If you put it here, it is also considered to be in the village, but if you put it here, it is not considered to be in the village. This is because this villager is below the door instead of on top of it. A villager can be at most 16 blocks away from the door. So if you put one right here, there are 16 blocks between the villager and the wooden door, which does not make it a house. But if you put it right here, it does see it as a house. This is the reason that you cannot have one pot of villagers in the docm design. On the server that I play on, Cornet, there are two iron farms that are popular. This is docm's iron farm and nims iron farm. This is nims iron farm. It is 10 by 10, but the spawning spaces are only 9 by 9, since on these blocks there is a solid block here, so it actually cannot spawn there. We could put half slabs here to enable a golem to actually spawn here, but the problem is that this is now also a valid spawning place, and a golem can spawn here, as it just did, and then the farm will actually stop working. So let's calculate just how efficient this is. There are 9 by 9 spawning spaces and a 2 by 2 hole. There are 2 floors, so that means 9 times 9 minus 4 times 2 is 154 spawning places. If we divide that by the amount of places a golem can spawn, which is 16 by 16 by 6, we get a probability of 0.10 that a golem will actually spawn. So if we divide that by 1, we get a 90% failure chance, and if we raise that by the power of 10, since the game tries to spawn a golem 10 times, we get a failure of 0.35. So if we just subtract that from 1 and we multiply it by 100, we get a success chance of 65%. Now, if we take doc's iron farm, which is 16 by 15 spawning places and also a 2 by 2 hole, we get a success rate of 97%. And if we just increase the efficiency by getting a 16 by 16 spawning spot, we get 98%. So not too big a difference, of course, but the difference between 65 and 97 is quite big. Okay, so let's go to my iron farm. The first thing you need to do when building the Iron Golem farm is to create a 16 by 16 spawning platform for the iron golems. So let's do that real quickly. Then once you've done that, you need to go 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks up to give them 4 blocks of spawning space. Then get on top of here and build another 16 by 16 area. So like this. And these are the two spawning areas for the iron golem. What you need to do now is create a ring around the spawning platform for the iron golems. So just go right here, and then around both of the spawning platforms go with half slabs like this. They need to be half slabs so that golems can actually spawn in the corners. Once that is done, what you want to do is create in the corners a few more blocks like this, and do that for every corner. Once all the corners are done, what you want to do is go to the northwestern corner and put a block on here. Then on this height go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 half slabs, and the same on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on the opposite corner do the same thing. So right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now once you've done that, you need to go back to the northwestern corner and then knock out this one and this one. If you do not knock those out, a golem can spawn here and it can get stuck. What you want to do now is place doors on top of these spaces And on the opposite corner do the same thing, except place 6 instead of 5. Now that is done, what you want to do is put half slabs right on this height. And do the same thing on the opposite side. So just take the bottom of the door and place half slabs right there. Okay, so what you can now do is put the villagers inside the pots. So you can put one villager here and one villager here. Now all these doors are considered houses. What you need to do is put in 10 in total, so you can put in 9 in this one, which would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now we've got 10 villagers, and you can see an iron golem spawned already, because iron golems spawn way more frequently in here. Now you're almost done. What you need to do is add the water, which you can do by just placing water on every single spot except for these 3. This is done similarly to how docm did it. And finally this side. And then in here place one bit of water to make sure that the golems that spawn here actually flow to the middle. Once that's done, you need to make sure that you knock out these 2 water sources, because we do not want water in the middle. So knock this out. You can also, of course, not place it at all, but I find it easier to just place it and then remove it afterwards. This platform is now done. What you want to do is do the exact same thing for the bottom. Once you're done placing water on both the spawning layers, what you want to do is make sure that there is enough light on these blocks so that no zombies will spawn here. You can do this by placing torches like this, or you could place glowstone somewhere in the middle. So either way is fine, but you need to make sure that no zombies can spawn here, because else your villagers might turn into zombie villagers. The Iron Golem Farm is now done. What you want to make sure of is that the ring around the 2 layers is either half slabs or glass or some other block that doesn't prevent iron golems from spawning, because else you would have slightly less rates of iron golems. You also want to make sure that on the northwestern side there are only 5 doors on either side, because same thing, if you do not do that, then you will have slightly less efficient spawning places. If you want to disguise the Iron Golem Farm, you can easily just put blocks around it, like so. Just outside of this area, no golems can spawn here, and also this does not prevent any golems from spawning. The only thing you need to be careful of is that these houses are actually houses, because if you would place too many blocks here, then this would no longer be considered a valid house, and no iron golems would spawn. Finally, I would like to show you the easiest way to move villagers inside these spots, because no one likes moving villagers in survival. So what you want to do is go to the southeastern side and then get a villager inside a minecart. And once you do that, you can just remove the minecart, just destroy it, and the villager will end up there. So you need to place a full block right there, then rails just at the same level at the half slab actually. So just you can put up to 9 villagers in there. And once you've done that, you can go to the other side. You probably do want to do this relatively quickly, because if for some reason the villagers start moving and they start getting in this corner, it's actually quite hard to get the minecart to stop here, because villagers will push it back and you do not want that. Okay, so going to the other side, it's a little bit more tricky. You need to go to the north direction, and then you need to make sure there's a full block here. So same thing, rails on the same level as the half slabs, full block at the end, but then also a full block here, because if you don't have this, the villagers will never exit here. It's a bit of a bug, but it's not too big of a problem if you know about it. So just get it here, and you will see that villagers will perfectly end up there. Now, I can show you what will happen if you keep this half slab here. Then, so if you have it like this, you will see the villager will actually stand here. And if you prevent that spawning place, then the villager will just keep at the spot of the minecart. So you do not want this. So just make sure there's a full block here, then it will all go perfectly fine. Okay, this is my Iron Golem farm. Thanks for watching.